what are we looking at here? We are playing some Reanimator in Magic the Gathering Online, and this is a list that I saw recently did pretty well in one of the CPS leagues, I think it was. And this deck it's kind of my flavor of Reanimator because there's no extra stuff in the deck. It's just all in combo. If you're not familiar with Premodern Reanimator, because we have not touched on it on the channel at all, we'll kind of go through each of the pieces one by one, but the list will be in the description as always. And you can check that out. So here's what we're doing. What do we use to reanimate in this format? I know that a lot of people are probably fairly privy to it, but again, we haven't touched on it on the channel. So I will walk through the reanimation spells. The main one just being straight up reanimate. It's the classic 1 black mana. Reanimate any creature from your graveyard. Lose life equal to its converted mana cost. It's a steep cost because all the creatures we're reanimating are huge. There's no Oculuses or anything in this format. It's all huge, big fat fatties. We've also got another version of Reanimate, which is Death, the death side of Life Death. It does the exact same thing, but it costs 2 mana. Also, it's a much more budget-friendly version of the card if you're trying to build it in paper and whatever your local event maybe doesn't allow proxies or something. We've also got Exhume, which is a universal reanimator, but typically we want to do this so early that our opponent doesn't have a chance to get any value off of it. And then the ways to get our big fat fatties into the graveyard include Careful Study. This is just a draw 2, discard 2, very classic pre-modern card. And then the other main way to do it that we have is Putrid Imp. This is a card I'm actually going to pick up physical copies of today for the paper streams for pre-modern this week. It is simply it's a Tireless Tribe-esque card. It's a 1 mana 1/1, and you can discard a card, and it gains flying till end of turn. The primary text on this is you can discard a card. Discarding a card, reanimating it, bam, bam. It also has this threshold ability where it gets +1/+1 and can't block. This doesn't come up all the time, but I feel like once you get pretty good at the deck and you're playing in some really hard spots, Putrid Imp might be the solution to some of your problems. We also play Sickening Dreams. It acts like a board wipe, deals some extra damage, and discards the creatures. We got mana acceleration through Dark Ritual and Lotus Petal, but what are we reanimating? That's the big thing. The main things are Akroma. This card is hard to kill outside of Swords to Plowshares, has Vigilance, so it's good against Stasis, something I kind of realized when I was listening to the most recent episode of the Spike Colony podcast over on Lanny's channel. And then we've got Nishoba Phantom Nishoba, very good against all the red decks. Visara the Dreadful. This is a big fat flyer that can destroy creatures and they can't be regenerated. And then we've got some Symbiotic Wurms. We're also doing a transmorphative sideboard thing where Tormod's Crypt is incredible against our strategy. So we can bring in 4 Oath of Druids and become an Oath deck instead because Tormod's Crypt doesn't do anything to Oath. We've got Naturalize. Our sideboard's very green. Naturalize, Crumble, Multani, Maro-Sorcerer, aka the giant shroud creature that you want to reanimate, and then a couple Duress. That's all we're doing. Also, don't forget that when we're playing this, we can Cabal Therapy ourselves, which will come up. We're going to go ahead and jump into the practice rooms and try to get a few games so I can figure out how to play the deck so we can play it in paper later in the week. All right, found first opponent. We won the die roll. Hi, good luck, have fun. All right, I'll be on the play. We've got a turn 1 Visara the Dreadful, it looks like. Our hand is, what's our sequence here? Underground River. No, we don't have a way to actually pitch the Visara. So this hand might be pretty poor, actually. If we had if one of these lands was a Putrid Imp. Hi, you too, big fan. Oh, thank you. That's very nice. But we have no way to get rid of the Visara the Dreadful, so we may just have to mulligan this, actually. We could go to discard if we were on the draw, but we are not on the draw, so we can't go to discard, so we're gonna mulligan. This hand can do a Visara, but we can do it turn 1 as well, right? Turn 1, Undiscovered Paradise. No, turn 1, City of Brass. Dark Ritual, Therapy, my Visara, Reanimate. Yeah, we keep these. What are we gonna pitch? Sickening Dreams, I think. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Sickening Dreams. All right, let's go. City of Brass, tap it for a black, play, and we have to lose the life. That's like a trigger you have to let resolve. And then we're gonna Dark Ritual, make 3 black. Then we're gonna Cabal Therapy ourselves. How do you spell this card's name? Visara. The Dreadful. Okay, and then we will reanimate the Visara. Turn 1, big fat fatty. Spend our whole hand to do it. Lose to Swords to Plowshares. Who cares? Let's go. Now this deck, someone played a version of this deck at one of our bi-weeklies and did top 8. This was a very sick build, and I never realized how consistently, if you build your Reanimator deck correctly, I didn't realize how consistently you could just always reanimate. That was easy. Big fan, thank you. Play a turn 1 Visara, concede. Looks like our opponent did not, in fact, have a Swords to Plowshares. They didn't show us anything, so I might. There is a poll to switch to Oath of Druids post-board, but I really don't know what our opponent's on, and if they're playing an Oath, that gets awkward. So what I'm actually going to do is, since I still don't know what's going on, I'm going to trim one Cabal Therapy, and I'll also trim, let's say, a single copy of Animate Dead since we're on the draw, just for a couple Duress, because now they know what we're doing, and we have no clue what they're doing. So we'll submit. All right, what does this hand do? We can Cabal Therapy our own Akroma turn 1, and then turn 2 try to reanimate it. I'm not sure if that's fast enough. We've got a bunch of Exhumes, but nowhere to go. So if you really look at this hand objectively, it's kind of like a 5-card hand, because 2 of these Exhumes basically don't have text. Also, this gets shut down by a Wasteland. Kind of tough. I think we can do a little bit better. Now, we could also just top deck like a Dark Ritual, and that gets insane. But I think that this is just a touch too slow on the draw, especially since our opponent knows what's up. So I am going to put this hand back. This hand is Dark Ritual. Oh, we can go Careful Study, the Phantom Nishoba, then turn to Dark Rit Exhume, or just turn to Exhume. Yeah, we'll keep this. What don't we want? If we get Duress, we'd really like to have redundant reanimate spells. The Dark Ritual doesn't do anything for us on turn 1 unless we draw a Petal. And even then, if we draw a Petal, we can just go Careful Study, Reanimate. So I think maybe we do need to just get rid of like the Exhume, probably. Or is it the Dark Rit? Is the Dark Rit doing literally anything for us? I don't think so. No, I think in this hand, Dark Ritual is actually not carrying any, it's not load bearing for this hand. So we'll put that in the bottom. We got a Carpulsion Forest into a Goblin Lackey. Uh-oh. All right, let's see if this Nishoba can maybe save us. Or just draw a Petal. Akroma, that'll be pretty good eventually. For now, and Careful Study could also draw us into a mana source, like a Petal or something. So we'll go Underground River, we'll tap it for blue, we will cast Careful Study. We did not draw the thing we needed. Also, this Duress looks pretty poor. We can't do anything with it this turn, but I think we'll just pitch to, no, just one creature. That way, if they have the Graveyard Hate next turn, we can go Putrid Imp, discard the other thing, Reanimate. So I think we'll get rid of Duress plus Phantom Nishoba looks pretty good. No, I think, which one do we really want to happen? Akroma or Phantom Nishoba? I think it's close. I think Akroma's a little bit better. And I'm expecting them to have packed some type of Graveyard Hate. So I'll pitch the Phantom Nishoba to this one. And then we just pass. All right, opponent, what are you going to sneak in with your Lackey? Our Reanimator deck has just no interaction, so that's tough. Attack with Lackey. No Siege Gang, please. Ouch. Lackey, trigger. What's it going to be? There's the Siege Gang commander. That is tough. Lots of goblins. Tap 1 for a second Goblin Lackey. And a Skirk Prospector. They're down to 2 in hand, but they have like a machine gun build. If they ever find like Goblin Sharpshooter, I feel pretty dead. Symbiotic Wurm's pretty cool. Let's go Undiscovered Paradise. I think in this spot, Phantom Nishoba, remember the life gain off Phantom Nishoba is not lifelink, it's a trigger, just like with Exalted Angel. They can sack for mana, so how much damage could they reasonably deal? I block their biggest thing, which is a 2/2 here, and take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I lose 8 life, so I'm at 10. Then they just need to deal 4 with the Skirk Prospector. Seems like they'll be able to do that pretty easy with the triggers for, but Phantom Nishoba is only 7 mana as opposed to 8 from the Akroma. So I think maybe we just need to get the Exhume going so we don't lose a bunch of life. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go black, colorless, and then we're going to Exhume. Now, one thing they can do is sacrifice 2 goblins to shoot me with the Siege Gang Commander and reanimate it, but this still costs less life than reanimating is my thinking. So we'll see what happens. Yep, that comes back. I have a Phantom Nishoba, and we'll see what they can do. Turn 1 Lackey, obviously pretty good against us. Let's see here. Now they've got 6. So we go like block, take 6, 7, 8, 9. They might be able to kill us from there, but we're going to give it a good effort here. We're going to block. Are they even going to swing with the Siege Gang Commander, I wonder? We're definitely going to block a Lackey. And they'll sack it so I don't gain life, which is problematic. Skirk Prospector, pretty good here. Are we just going to damage? That was weird. They probably should have sacked that in response, right? Because now I can gain the life as a trigger. Now, can they kill us in response? Oh, a second Siege Gang. So now they should have access to... No, they let us gain the life. I think that was wrong there. I think they probably could have... They can kill me now, I think, right? That's a Sharpshooter, the last card in their hand. Okay, that's bad. What can we do here? Anything reasonable? Reanimating seems like a death sentence. You know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to run my head into this. We're super dead. If you don't know how it works, the Sharpshooter... on taps every time something dies. So next turn they can like full send and then use the Sharpshooter to like sack to tap it, deal damage to me, sack 1 for a mana, untap the Sharpshooter, keep doing that, and then start to activate Siege Gang Commander after combat damage. So I don't think we're gonna try to fight that fight. And then since they're goblins, I could see Oath of Druids being pretty good. I like Cabal Therapy because turn 1, I think I'm gonna try to get a big creature into play actually. The idea of turn 1 Therapy or Lackey seems not bad. But the idea of turn 1 Akroma seems better. And I'm wondering if Oath of Druids is a route I want to go. Duress seems pretty poor. Let's get rid of another Animate Dead because they could be playing Naturalize. And we'll bring in 3 Oath and try that. I have no reps with this deck, so this is purely vibes based. I'll be on the play. And this hand has no mana sources. If it had even one, even a Lotus Petal, I could go Petal, Ritual, Putrid Imp, Pitch, Symbiotic Wurm, that's it. But with no mana sources, we can't even think about that. Mulligan. This hand has turn 1, Reanimate a Symbiotic Wurm. So I think we keep it, right? We pitch. Where's the fat in this hand? Is it my Cabal Therapy? Because turn 1, we're going to go like Gemstone Mine, Dark Ritual. Yeah, we'll go Gemstone Mine, Dark Ritual, 3 black. Putrid Imp, Pitch Symbiotic Wurm, Reanimate. Do we just like pitch the Gemstone Mine and do this all off the back of Undiscovered Paradise? I think so. Nice. I gave up on everything that's not Premodern. Fair. I still play a lot of other formats, but Premodern's become my favorite by like a lot, like a lot. We'll keep this. We're going to pitch the Gemstone Mine. We're going to go a little crazy. Okay, let's go. Therapy for Lackey seems solid. I don't care about Lackey if I have a 7/7 in play. Though we can deploy our entire hand. Undiscovered Paradise makes Dark Writ 3 black. 1 black for Imp, 1 black for Cabal Therapy, 1 black for Reanimate. It might lock down our attacks. I agree with that. That's actually a good point. So Paradise, Therapy, Lackey, Imp, Symbiotic Wurm, empty our hand. Here's a 7/7 and a Putrid Imp, and we'll try to make that work. Opponent mulligan to 5, which is kind of nice. So here's the Paradise. Here is the black mana. Here's the Dark Ritual. Here is the, I guess we'll Therapy first, targeting you, and we will name Goblin Lackey. Show me your hand. We miss. There is a Blood Moon. This hand we do not care about. Okay, Putrid Imp. Activate Putrid Imp, pitch Symbiotic Wurm. It gains flying, reanimate Symbiotic Wurm. Pass. Go Hellbent, here's 8 power, good luck. There's a Fanatic. They probably should pop the Fanatic on the Imp now. Otherwise, I'll be able to like get their Gem Palm Incinerator or whatever using my Cabal Therapy, which seems pretty bad for them. There's an Oath. All right, here's my Undiscovered Paradise. Let's just go to combat and see if they... Let's not even give them the opportunity. Let's just Cabal Therapy, sacking the Imp. Is that crazy? I don't think so. Cabal Therapy, target you, sacrifice this Putrid Imp. Now, the Mog Fanatic's in play. The Mountain is in play. So we know about Blood Moon, Gem Palm, and Carpulzan Forest. Do I give a shit about Blood Moon? I mean, I definitely don't give a shit about Gem Palm Incinerator. And the Blood Moon might actually lock us out of Oath. We're going to name Blood Moon. I don't even know if this is necessary, but all right, there's the Blood Moon, and they drew a Matron. Okay, so we know there's a Forest, an Incinerator, a Matron, and that's all we know because that's their whole hand. Okay, go to combat. Here is 7. Yeah, that was a good call. Hitting, they didn't have the Lackey, but if they had, I wouldn't be able to just make this attack here. They block, very nice. And our backup plan of just like draw any mana source, play Oath of Druids seems pretty good here as well. Pass to you. I was trying to make Goblins because Lackey triggers to damage to player, not combat damage. That's hilarious. So we want to, wait, what does that mean? What are we doing with, how are we making Goblin Lackey deal damage to the player without combat damage? All right, Phantom Nishoba does not help us, but we'll go to combat. We'll ship this in. We got a little 3-turn clock going here. They're gonna have to start just making blockers. Pass the turn. Something else I could have done was enchantment tap, deal damage to a player. That's hilarious. One thing we actually could have done, yep, you do cycle that, is we could have sacrificed our Symbiotic Wurm to the Cabal Therapy. But I think I'd rather have 1/7/7. It punches through goblins better than 7/1/1s. So Gem Palm's gone. We know they have Matron and nothing else. There's the Matron. I wonder what they go to get. They definitely block with this Matron. Is it like Ringleader? Psionic Gift enchantment? There's a few of those, huh? Maybe that's a brew we'll try out. That sounds kind of neat. Although I think the easiest way to deal damage with Goblin Lackey is to simply open on Goblin Lackey and the playstyle. But I'm always here for spice. They go get a Goblin Lackey. Okay. They can't cast it here. So we get another free attack. Do we get a mana source? We do. We're going to go back down to 0, but that just kind of is what it is. I wonder if we should pump the brakes on attacking and drop the Oath, or if that's pretty interesting. They have Goblin Lackey and 2 unknowns. I could just play Undiscovered Paradise, drop Oath of Druids, and simply pass the turn. And like that really should disincentivize them from attempting to play out creatures. That said, I think it's probably better to just attack here and then play my land and pass. Let them play a Lackey and then drop Oath of Druids. I just want to make sure I get the first Oath trigger, you know? So we'll make sure to keep their board clean, and then we'll play another Undiscovered Paradise and we will pass. I don't want to play Oath here because then they're just going to trigger the Oath first, and that seems poor for us. All right, here's a Lackey. 1 Fanatic, sure. They pass. So now they have 2 creatures, so I can just deploy Oath and not worry. There's also an Akroma. White, green, I wonder if I should attack first. Would they block? They probably block Mog Fanatics, sack, deal damage to me. No, we'll just go ahead and play this. All right, Oath's in play. We're not going to even bother attacking. We have this Symbiotic Wurm to block the Lackey, and we've got turns to play with. Goblins is still Goblins, very strong deck. They go combat. Attacking would be insane. Also, they should definitely sack that Mog Fanatic so the Oath doesn't trigger. Okay, I'm going to block. Yep, that happens. Pass to me, I get 2 lands back. Another Oath is the draw for turn, kind of weird. I could attack here. They probably don't block. Then they attack with their Goblin Lackey and cheat a bunch of dudes into play. And then my Oath triggers. What's the over-under that they brought in Naturalize or left their Naturalizes in their deck? I wonder. We did reanimate on them game 2, so they didn't know we were an Oath deck going into game 3. So I guess how much does our opponent know about our plan is the big question. This Symbiotic Wurm just hanging back for a little while doesn't stress me out too much. Though Goblins can just hit a critical mass and it can be over. I am just going to wait though, because their deck doesn't do anything without playing creatures, and this Oath is like, if they have Naturalize, they'll have to dispatch it before playing more creatures. They're going to cycle Gem Palm, that's fine. Because my deck is full of Akromas. Tormod Script is fine. I already have an Oath of Druids in play, so it's like, sure. Pass to me, sure. Untap and draw. Exhume. Not a lot I can do with the Exhume right now. We'll play this land. And then do we just dispatch another Oath of Druids? Or I think we just wait it out here. We're going to pass. I think we're like headed into the long game, because if we can get an Akroma in play, that's a quick 2-turn kill. But we're at 10, so them getting like a Goblin Ringleader or something into play, and if we just windmill into another Symbiotic Wurm, we can lose super easy from that spot. So I'm just going to bide my time, see if I can't set something else up. There's a Lotus Petal. We will deploy it, and then I wonder if no, we don't bother. We don't bother. We're just passing, I think. We'll just pass. Now we're like this weird control deck with the Oath in play where our Goblin's opponent certainly has a handful of things they want to do. But if they do it, then they might just die. Conversely, that Lackey is just staring at me, is mean mugging me. I might have to like feint to reanimate a creature to get them to pop the crypt, because they're not gonna trigger this Oath until they have like some way to kill. But I do keep getting card draws. Life. All lands you control become 1/1s until end of turn. There's still lands. That's weird. Nothing I can really do with that. I wonder how much longer can I just sit here and do nothing? Probably not, right? Yeah, we're just gonna pass. Oh, with that Oath of Druids, I probably should have taken my Putrid Imps out, huh? That would be a nightmare. If we spin the Oath and we hit a Putrid Imp, Reanimate Imp, we could, then they trigger Oath. We have ourselves a little showdown, just staring at each other. Pile Driver, yeah, that resolves. Okay, they're going wide now. Pile Drivers only have Pro Blue, but I guess by waiting, our opponent is gonna let us trigger Oath, so here's to not finding a Putrid Imp here. All right, it's a Phantom Nishoba. That's pretty cool. This does let me simply, this doesn't let me actually attack with the Symbiotic Wurm yet, because those Pile Drivers, depending on if they have War Chief plus 1-drop in their hand, can represent a ton of damage. So we're just going to continue to hang back. We're still behind on creatures, so our Oaths are going to keep triggering. I also want to test some Gaia's Cradle on my Goblins deck. That would be interesting. Here's a Ringleader, so they have started. 1 Akroma Angel of Wrath, please. Okay, trigger the Oath of Druids. Target you. Please no Putrid Imp. There's an Akroma. Beautiful. Here's an Underground River. Wonderful. All right, we win the match. Great. I think our opponent may have been able to take another turn there, but we got Goblins. We got Goblins. Let's get into another match. GG Michelangelo. Okay, that was pretty cool. Little 1-0. For what it's worth, if you had flashback the therapy with Wurm instead of Imp, discard Fanatic, you would have won on turn 4. That's a good point. What's going on, Juice? All right, we found an opponent, and this hand would be very good with the simple addition of a land, because we'd obviously go Dark Ritual, Sickening Dreams, pitch Visara, Reanimate it, but we don't have that, so we're gonna mulligan. This deck is sick, Juice. This hand can do nothing too, so we're going to 5 now, because we have no Reanimate spells. This hand has, what do we have here? Petal, here. Okay, I don't love this hand, but I think we need to keep it because we're not going to 4. And if we simply draw Dark Ritual, it's a turn 1 Phantom Nishoba. So we're gonna keep this. We can't use Sickening Dreams. I think we'd rather use Putrid Imp to discard a card, so we'll pitch the Sickening Dreams. And since we can't have our cake and eat it, I think we need to pitch the Exhume as well. And we just need to hope that our opponent's playing like a deck that can't interact on this axis very well. Mountain into Jackal Pup is a great start. We still have to get lucky and draw our mana sources, but we've got a chance, boys. There's the Reanimate. I wonder if I'm supposed to Careful Study with this Petal now. I think so. Let's go cast the Petal, because if we draw a land with the Careful Study, we're in the money. We just get to do the thing. So we'll go blue and try to get lucky. Come on. Fuck. Okay, that didn't work out. But we'll pitch Phantom Nishoba plus Cabal Therapy, I think would be pretty good. Nah, we're not sacking to Therapy. We'll get rid of our good stuff. Phantom Nishoba plus Visara the Dreadful. And then we will pass. And now we're just like, do we draw land? We're probably in a good spot. And it needs to be in the next 2 turns because this looks like it's going to be Sly or Zoo or Sly. Juice, I've missed you. What are you doing in Ohio, man? Not to dox you. Why are you just south of me? Why aren't we at Leo's Coney Island right now? Attack for 2. We take 2. Yeah, I cannot stop you, buddy. Ouch. Passing. 1 time for the 1 time. Love this game. Undiscovered Paradise, tap for black, reanimate my Phantom Nishoba. I will go to 11 recreationally. Can you kill me? AKA, can you play Sulfuric Vortex? Because that would fuck me up pretty good here. Pay 2 for an Incinerate. I am at 8. They cannot attack with Jackal Pups. They need to, like, simply Fire Blast Bolt Shock would do it here. Also just simply a Sulfuric Vortex would be just fine as well. But I don't hate this on a mulligan to 5. It looks like they're tapping for 1. So yeah, that is not, in fact, a Sulfuric Vortex. Now, a little line they can make here is to try to kill their own pup after blocking, so I do not gain the life. But my Phantom Nishoba, unfortunately for our opponent, has the keyword trample. So we're gonna go land, we're gonna go into combat. For those of you who missed it, Undiscovered Paradise, if it's tapped, it returns itself to your hand at your upkeep. Attack for 7. And I would like to gain 7. And I would prefer to Cabal Therapy. I think I want to name Fire Blast. It's the most damage they can deal. Fire Blast. Show me your hand. 1 Fire Blast. They do have the Vortex. They need to draw land here really bad. So we know that they have Ball Lightning, Sulfuric Vortex. But they are on a quick clock past turn. Land Vortex, go crazy. All right, land, Bloodstained Mire Vortex. This Vortex is going to tax them too. Vortex? It needs to be Vortex, yep. Ball Lightning doesn't do anything here. All right, I'll take 2. Ouch. And then go to end step, my turn. Vortex deals 2 to me. And there's an Exhume. Be really cool if I could do that right now. We're going to go Undiscovered Paradise, go to combat, attack for 7, and then we will simply play a blocker. We cannot gain that life. The Vortex will simply not allow it. Tap for a black. Here is, honestly, no, I think it's just better to Cabal Therapy the last card in their hand, which is Ball Lightning. I almost fucked that up really bad. That would have been so stupid to play Putrid Imp. Ball Lightning. Please discard all iterations of this card from your hand. They are hellbent. I don't know how they win here. Fire Blast plus Jackal Pup is 6. Plus Sulfuric Vortex is 7-8. Plus Curse Scroll is 9-10. So yeah, I don't think we can die here. I was about to scream at my monitor. Yeah, sorry. That would have been so dumb. I get really easily sidetracked when I'm playing online because it's easier to read chat. So the second I see someone talking to me, I'm like, oh, hi. And then I forget where I am. But yeah, you're welcome for not being a complete donkey by accident there. That would have been so stupid. Someone send this footage to Lanny so he can roast me. Okay, that was a pretty easy win, sideboard. They are just Sly, which means that they probably have Tormod's Crypt or Phyrexian Furnace, but they don't have access to green, so they can't naturalize. So what I think needs to happen is Visara needs to come out. None of those. We love Phantom Nishoba. We love these cards. We don't love Life Death as much. It's a little bit slow. It drains us too much for the mana cost. I love Oath of Druids. What do you do, say, when someone has no cards in hand? Is it Hellbent? I don't know the expression. Sorry, I'm not American. Yep. If someone has no cards in hand, we just say they're Hellbent. And welcome to the stream. Thanks for the comment, buddy. I like all the creatures we're reanimating. I don't love the Maro-Sorcerer in this matchup. And I think I also want to like trim on, I think I'll lose, do I want to lose a Reanimate on the draw? Like 1 Reanimate and bring in like, yeah, lose 1 Reanimate for 1 Naturalize and then lose a Sickening Dreams because it deals damage to both of us for a 2nd Naturalize. And then, because we need to be able to beat up on the Sulfuric Vortex. These go away. These come in. We try. Let's go. It comes from a Dissension keyword for Rakdos, where cards had extra effects if you had no cards in hand. Yep, I wasn't playing back in Dissension, but I did vaguely know that 4 Oath in, no Imp out again. Oops. Hey, can't fuck it up if I've got all the Imps in my hand, am I right? Also, this hand's unplayable. I'm really glad I'm doing this before playing it in paper. What can we do with this hand? We can Dark Rit, Imp, do nothing else. Okay, we're going to 5. It might not matter. We might mulligan to Oblivion. This hand has no mana sources. The craziest 4 you've ever seen. Land, Imp, nothing to reanimate. I mean, we're not mulliganing this, so let's figure out the best 4 to keep out of here. We need the land. I think it needs to be Gemstone Mine. I think we need the Imp to get rid of the thing if we eventually find it. We'll need, I think I would rather take Exhume because it doesn't tax our life. And then I think we need Oath. Do we ship land, Cabal, Reanimate, and hope to draw the things? No, I feel like if we're going to keep the Exhume, we need both lands. So maybe we have to keep the Reanimate like that and hope to either draw land or something to Reanimate. Keep these 4? I think so. 1, 2, 3. As far as 4s go, I think that's okay. And thank you. Yeah, we need to take out all 4 of our Putrid Imps when we bring in Oath. So goofy. I'm such a silly, silly, silly boy. Okay, you fetched with Wooded Foothills. You have a mountain. We have a patrol, a 2-1 with Echo. Okay, my turn. All right, there's a Phantom Nishoba. We've got the thing to reanimate. Here is a black mana. Here is a Putrid Imp. All right, let's hope we get lucky and they just like don't have Tormod script. Are we going to pay the Echo cost? We are. Bloodstained Mire, go to combat. Are we attacking for a 2? I'm not blocking. I'll take 2 here. Please, please don't play. You know what? It's actually fine if they play the Furnace. It's just a Grim. Okay, looks like we're gonna have and eat our cake here. Untap, another Putrid Imp. Let's pitch. Discard to the Putrid Imp. It gains flying. Let's tap for black. Let's drop down to 11 life and reanimate Phantom Nishoba. And now I think I'm interested in blocking with the Imp, so I'm not going to attack. And then we pass. As far as mulliganing to 4 goes, this feels like the best we could hope for, especially with how poorly we sideboarded. No Vortex, no Vortex, no Vortex. A move they could make here is Grim Lavamancer down the Putrid Imp. That doesn't do anything, right? Then they still can attack. All right, Mog Fanatic's fine. So they can take out the Putrid Imp that way. Go to combat. You can't do that. My turn? Great. All right, gain some life. Amazing. Go to combat. Well, they can shoot down my Imp with the Fanatic whenever they want. Maybe I need to make them do that, though. Attack. Take 7. I'll go back up to 18, please. Phantom Nishoba. Do the thing. All right, nice. Pass turn. Well, yeah, I don't think I'm going to deploy this Putrid Imp. I think I can wait just in case like I randomly draw a Reanimate or some way to like reanimate a creature. Having an extra Putrid Imp to be able to like play it the turn that I want to reanimate so they can't like Fanatic or something seems nice. Because they'll probably take out my Putrid Imp just to push through damage. But they are on a quick 2-turn clock, and they're a mountain short for double Fire Blast, so I feel like our spot's pretty good for having mulligan to 4. Yep, activate Grimboy. I go to 16. You got it. No Barbarian Ring game for you. Also, the Lavamancer can't take out Imp anymore, so they'll have to Mog Fanatic it. 4th land. All right, double Fire Blast, 3rd burn spell. Ball Lightning. Oh dear. Well, don't forget to sack your Mog Fanatic. I'll 100% block that Goblin Patrol. Also, this just like isn't close to good enough unless they have 2 Fire Blasts, right? If they got 2 Fire Blasts, we get got. But 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 2 Fire Blasts would do it. Shit, a Fire Blast and a Bolt I think would do it if they sequence this correctly. Combat. Are they going to let my Putrid Imp block? That seems wild to me. If I get to block with this Imp, 2 Fire Blasts isn't enough. All right, they might not know what's going on. Block with Putrid Imp, that's 7 damage. And 7 plus 8 happens to be 15. Although, no, with the Grim Lavamancer, it would be enough even with Fire Blast Bolt. So they might still have it wrapped up here. I'm at 9. Do you have 7? Do you have Fire Blast? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has to be Fire Blast plus Bolt or better. And then they can beat me here. Ball Lightning sacks itself. Sure. My turn. Untap draw. Underground River's kind of cool here. Let's go to combat. Attack you. I want to go back to 15 life, please. Sorry, 16 life. That's so much life gain. That's so unfair. And then let's play this Underground River. I think it might be worth losing the life just to get the Putrid Imp into play. Little extra blocker, take some heat off of me. And have 2 mana for any future thing that might come up. Yeah, Putrid Imp, go ahead. All right, they're going to hit me with the Grim Lavamancer. Ouch, down to 13. All right, we just win the game. Amazing, incredible. All right, we're going to get at least one more. If I try to side an Oath without taking Putrid Imp out again, if you catch me doing that, scream at me in the chat. All right, we found an opponent. We are on the draw again. So we're on the plate for the first one, draw for the second one, draw for the third one. And this hand is potentially good. It doesn't have any creatures in it. It has a Careful Study, but this hand just isn't aggressive enough, I don't think. We can go Careful Study, but if we miss on it, we don't do anything for the entire game. Now we get to see 3 cards, but still, that's not a good enough chance for me. We're going to mulligan. Double Sickening Dreams, Akroma, no way to reanimate. That's a 5. Dark Writ into nothing. That NeonMushroom. Yeah. This hand also sucks, so we're going to 4. That's tough. This hand has a land, a Putrid Imp, a way to reanimate, and a thing to reanimate. We keep and we hope to draw Petal or Dark Ritual or something. So we're going to pitch Akroma, Putrid Imp. Let's go. Do not duress me. Mog Fanatic. Yeah, you got it. All right, Akroma could be pretty good here. I kind of wish it was a Phantom Nishoba, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Also, this City of Brass sucks as our land, but again, beggars cannot, in fact, be choosers. Greetings from Italy. Italian player, very cool. All right, there's an Akroma, a second Akroma. Doesn't do very much for us. This feels bad because we're about to start the game at like 10 life, but it is what it is. Here's my Putrid Imp. You can go ahead, buddy. Do not F6 because they'll Fanatic your Putrid Imp and you won't be able to respond. That would be bad. Port. Uh-oh. There's their win condition. What deck plays Fanatic and Port? This is Goblins again. Is this Goblins Electric Boogaloo Part 2? They're attacking again. I think we might block this. Yeah, I think we're going to block. And then before damage, I'd like to pitch this Akroma to my Imp. Goblins are red Ponza, yep. Mulligan to 4, get ported, does not feel good. It still feels like we have a mild chance if we simply draw the land or a petal here, or Dark Ritual. We've got more hits than we have not hits. But if we simply draw another 8-mana creature, we're probably just dead. Also, no, because they have the port, so we just need to draw like something. Port me? Ow, my life total. All right, we draw a Gemstone Mine, so we'll play that out, I guess. And that gives us Petal or Land or Dark Ritual isn't out again, even through this port. So let's see what happens. Another mountain, do nothing. Come on, deck. Tap the city. My city. All right, ouch. Show me money. Dark Rit, we're in. Tap for black Dark Ritual. We will go down to 9 life and reanimate our Akroma. All right, opponent, 4-turn clock, go. Attack you. All right, they drop down to 14, and then we pass. You go. Our deck was very good to us there. We drew land into Dark Ritual. I still feel like losing would be something kind of easy to do because of the City of Brass that's just like hunting us. This is Goblins. There's a Ringleader. So there's a lot of ways we die here, but our clock is substantial. They're going to get a Ringleader, a Fanatic, and a Ringleader. They only pitch a mountain to the graveyard or to the bottom of their library. Are we on tap and draw? They cannot port us, which is great. And we drew a Cabal Therapy, which is not the worst either. Let's go to combat and attack. We're going to hit 2 Ringleaders with this Therapy, which is pretty great. All right, Black Therapy, you, Goblin Ringleader. Boom. Show me your hand. We've got 1-2 Ringleaders, a Lackey, a Fanatic, and 2 Siege Gang Commanders. Got it. Please don't play a Siege Gang. That would be lame. All right, show me that known information. 2 Siege Gangs, no Ringleader, Lackey, no Ringleader, Fanatic, nothing else matters. Okay, you may go. We're racing. Please don't find your land, I guess. All right, just a Fanatic and a Pile Driver. The Pile Driver is a little scary. And a Lackey, that's a lot of stuff. I would take 1 Sickening Dreams, please. Not quite. I wonder if we can't really die here, right? No, we could. If we careful study and are able to find reanimating Akroma would deal us just so much damage. We could also careful study and try to find Sickening Dreams, but we can't cast it. Let's just careful study anyway, just to see like what happens, just to make sure I'm not missing anything obvious. A Symbiotic Wurm, Akroma to the bin, and then yeah, if I tap the City of Brass and careful study, I mean, I'll go to 0 in hand. It doesn't really matter. So we go to combat. Beep. Akroma is legendary, so we can't, has diminishing returns. Yeah, that's so true. All right, we might lose this game here anyway because, well, no, we can simply not let the Lackey connect, right? What's going on, Some Shady? How you doing? We're in round 3, playing some Reanimator and Premodern. So far undefeated. We're at a mulligan to 4 this game, though. But this deck is pretty sweet. Step 1, don't let the Lackey connect. Nope, step 1, don't let the Pile Driver connect, actually. Because that Pile Driver is about to attack for 7. So we're going to take 4, and then Lackey's going to put in Siege Gang. And then if they have a Skirk Prospector, we're super dead. Oh no, we're super dead anyway, right? We'll make the block we're supposed to make, but I think if our opponent knows what's going on, we're dead because of that Mog Fanatic. They have Exacxies because Goblin Ringleader puts in Siege Gang Commander, spend all 4 mana, sack 2 Goblins, deal 4, sack Mog Fanatic, deal 1, I'm at 5. So yep, but I'm gonna let him go through the motions because this is a pretty sweet Exacxies. All right, Siege Gang does the shoot, and then I'm not even gonna make him go through it. They got me, well, no, they're paying the cost. I'm gonna let him kill me. All right, take 1, or take 2, and then take 1. Yep, ouch. Super dead. Very close game. Mulligan to 4, not the worst. I think we're on the play. I think trying to reanimate super early is probably a good idea. I don't think we care about Naturalize or Crumble or Duress. We probably maybe care about Oath of Druids though. What if we become an Oath of Druids deck? Which in turn means that Port in the City of Brass won the game. Yeah, exactly. No, our opponent played that nice and tight. What do we not want? If we're bringing in Oath of Druids, do we just simply take out Putrid Imp and bring in Oath? Is it this simple, guys? I think it is. We're just going to try this. I'm going to try this for science, see if it works out. Instead of trying to fight their graveyard hate, I'm just going to have a second axis I can play off of. All right, we're on the play. Good luck, opponent. This hand has turn 1. Ooh, God, that's real good. Turn 1. No, there's no Dark Ritual. No, there is. Turn 1, Dark Ritual, Cabal Therapy myself, hit the, let's just say Akroma, so I can attack over the Goblin Lackey. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Keep. This is quite good. And we even get to Exhume so we don't lose 1,000,000 life. Black Dark Ritual. I'll lose the life to the City of Brass. Cabal Therapy. Myself. Akroma. Angel of Wrath. Exhume. All right, go to combat. Attack for 6. You're on a 4-turn clock. Good luck, opponent. This Akroma does not care about a turn 1 Lackey, which is really nice. It can attack through a turn 1 Lackey and still block it on the swing back, which is just so good. Careful Study into like draw a card, Careful Study, pitch Phantom Nishoba. If I can like draw Reanimate plus like land or any mana source, that would be insane. All right, they just play a Mog Fanatic, not sweating that. Untap and draw. Life Death, huh? Let's go ahead and open on Careful Study. Drop down to 18. Study. We draw a Reanimate, so I'll pitch a couple of Phantom Nishobas, I guess. And then we'll go to combat and attack for 6. And you go to 8. And then we simply pass the turn. We should import pretty good. Although if their plans to port me and not extend their board at all, I think they're in deep, deep trouble. You cannot attack. That simply does not work. Is there like some random way they can get rid of Akroma that I'm just not familiar with? Yep, you got it. It's tapped. I lose a life. There's an Undiscovered Paradise. Am I just supposed to reanimate my Phantom Nishoba? Is there a way I die if I do that? Let's go to combat. Let's attack. Bring you down to 2. Okay, chat. Is there a reason to like Undiscovered Paradise, reanimate Phantom Nishoba, drop to 10? Is there a way I die from that spot? Let's play the land. I don't want to make our opponent just sit here and wait. If he runs Chainer's Edict, unlikely, but that's a good enough reason for me to just flex with this reanimate. Reanimate Phantom Nishoba. Go to 10. Go ahead. Big fat fatties? Too much. GG. Yeah, GG. That's a game 3, guys. We're going to do it. I think we're going to keep our deck the way it was. They didn't even see the Oath of Druids, so submit. Also, our deck is very capable of turn 1 Oath, so that can be backbreaking as well. Also, that was a very Reanimatory game, so them not knowing about Oath could be huge. This hand we can go to discard and reanimate a Phantom Nishoba. Is that even like close to reasonable? It kind of feels like no. That said, we can go to discard and then no, we can't. If we could discard 2 cards, that would be pretty crazy. I think this hand's on the outside looking in. We'd have to skip our land drop and lose like 7 life to get a Phantom Nishoba into play that can't even attack through a Lackey. I think we need to try harder. Mulligan. This hand can also do Stone Cold Nothing. Let's see. We go Lotus Petal, Careful Study. Try to find a land for the Phantom Nishoba does have trample. What do we even do here? Oh, it does have trample, but even still, like attacking the Mog through the Lackey, they could attack back and I don't have a blocker. And then they trigger the Lackey. You'd be surprised how fast they can just find lethal from that spot. I wonder if I'm supposed to like try to get lucky on this 6 here. Because if let's say I pitch Phantom Nishoba, all I need to do is find an mana source. Because this Careful Study will get a creature into the graveyard. And if I can find a mana source, I can turn 1 reanimate. Was that last hand turn 2 dirter? We could go to discard, but like, I don't know that if we're going to discard on the draw against the deck that can just Tormod's Crypt us with no follow-up, that seems poor. This hand at least has an Oath of Druids. So I think what I want to do is keep this, try to get really lucky. I still think I like the Akroma better than the Phantom Nishoba. That said, I could just get them both into the graveyard, but I really don't want to pitch the Oath of Druids because that's my like backup plan. Dark Ritual doesn't actually do anything in this hand. We go turn 1, Lotus Petal, Careful Study, try to simply find an on-tap black source. Pitch both of our creatures, reanimate something. And then turn 2, we try to Oath of Druids if that doesn't pan out. I think Dark Ritual is the bad card in our hand. Let's try it. You're up, opponent. Please do not crit me. For the love of God, don't crit me. All right, there's a Skirt Prospector. They're passing. Don't crit, no crit. Don't, up. Draw land. I'm cracked at this game. I'm so cracked. All right, let's go Undiscovered Paradise. Tap for blue. Careful Study. We'll pitch Phantom Nishoba plus Akroma, and we'll reanimate the Akroma so we can start the train now. So Nishoba plus Akroma, Lotus Petal, cast it, tap it for a black, reanimate. Let's grab the Akroma and go to combat. Here we go. 4-turn clock, but I'm at 12, so we'll see what happens. We can't Oath next turn unless we draw exactly Petal because we're going to lose our underground, what is that called? Undiscovered Paradise back to our hand per its trigger. There's a Fanatic, you got it. Should have been mulling to 1 for Tormods, probably, yeah. Sorry, opponent, I got really lucky. That's an Exhume. That could be good if we draw a mana source, but for now, beep. All right, pass to opponent. You're on a 2-turn clock, my dude. 2 mana, 3 mana. Goblin King? Well, I don't have a mountain, but your goblins sure are bigger. They could be trying to set up for like some crazy lethal line here. We untap and draw a mana source? Damn. Well, what can you do? You just attack and hope. They're at 2. You may go, opponent. Does goblins play outs for Akroma? Yeah, kill the opponent that controls the Akroma. That's their out. No anarchy. Oh, anarchy would do it. Rip, GG. Well, that's a bummer. Yeah, I guess anarchy would do it. All right, cool. Well, that's an hour stream, a 3-0 with Reanimator. I've got things to do and I got to get this video out. So I think this will be a quick little fluorescent fungus upload. Next week, look forward to some modern on NeonMushroom. Like next week, tomorrow. Look forward to some modern on NeonMushroom. We got some cool matchups coming up for modern as well. I'm learning some new decks. But for today, I think that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you next time.